day by day, and with each passing moment, strength I find to meet my trials here. Trusting in my Father's wise bestowment, I've no cause for worry or for fear. He whose heart is kind beyond all measure gives unto each day what he deems best. Lovingly, it's part of pain and pleasure, mingling toil with peace and rest. Every day the Lord himself is near me, with a special mercy for each hour. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're taking a look at the hymn Day by Day, and our practice is to try to sing from our songbook. So this is my hymn book, and I'm using the Rejoice hymnal for the church at worship. And I'm going to explain a little bit about the music symbols that we find there to help you to be able to take your hymn book and your guitar and lead a group of people in song in a church setting or a Bible study or a nursing home, something like that. Maybe maybe you're starting a church in your house. I hope that this will be helpful to you, and I'll try to keep it basic and just things that we need to know. So to start, I want to take a look at these symbols up here on the board, and I'll come around at the end of the video and then try to do the last two stanzas together. So up here you have on the top left of your page and on my board here, you have the music staff. Now this is basic information. Anyone can learn this, even if you don't have a background in music theory. This is the treble clef or the G clef, and that's what the guitar reads the music from. And then you have, beside the treble clef, you have the key signature. There are 3 flat symbols. They look like 3 lowercase b's. You look at the last symbol, and then you go back one, and then whatever line or space that falls on, that's the key. So for a flat key, you'd go back one space, that is, or one symbol, that is on the E space. The space is spelled F-A-C-E, and that would say to us as musicians that we are in the key of E flat. Okay, so this is important for the guitar player. We're in the key of E flat. And then the time signature is 4-4, and that's going to tell us what to do with our picking hand. So this one right here, the key signature, tells us what to do with our fretting hand, with the left hand if you play guitar like me. I'm a left-handed person, but I learned how to play guitar right-handed, and I might have been the world's greatest guitarist ever, and I just learned the wrong way. So I'm just a mediocre guitarist. What you would do to play in the key of E flat is put your capo on your first fret and use a D chord. Now you're in the key of E flat, and you can play right along with a piano player. I won't try to explain why that's so, but I've just moved up 1 fret with my capo, and I need to know all the chords in the D family. Even though what I'm playing looks like a D chord, let me put this down here. What I'm playing looks like a D chord. It is sounding an E flat major. Okay, so I need to know all the chords in the D family, and the basic ones, D, E, F, G. There's my next chord I need to know. G, A. There's that one there. And then I need to know the B minor. And so if you don't know the B minor bar chord, you need to brush up on that, get that skill under your belt, and then In the chord progression, there's a B minor over A, so an A in the bass, and all you do is just remove that finger, the index finger, and that becomes a B minor over A, and then went from there to a G chord. So that's a good thing to know how to do. That comes up often into an A7. So I'll go through these chords together with you. But like I said, the key signature lets us know what we need to do with our left hand and with our capo. And the time signature lets us know what to do with our right hand. Let me explain that real quick. And by the way, I'm not using the capo because I have a lower voice and it's more comfortable for me to sing it without the capo. And if you're singing with a group in a nursing home, you need to come down at least a half step for what's written in the hymn book anyways. As people age, their voices can't go as high as what they used to be able to. So I'm singing without the capo, still in the D family with my chords. Now the 4/4, I have written up here a pattern, a picking pattern for 4/4. And in this particular song, it works. And what I have here is 4/4 time. 4/4, the top 4 means that there's 4 counts per measure. That's the only thing that you're concerned with as a guitar player. Top 4 is 4 counts per measure. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to add in the ands of each count. So it's 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. On the 1, we're playing with the thumb. I was playing hybrid picking, which I have a guitar pick here. Let's see if I get that into the camera. I have the guitar pick here. So this is a blue chip pick, by the way. A friend of mine gave me this, and I love the sound of the tone that I get on the strings. But you can plant your pinky finger on the top of the guitar, and you can play the P, or the bass note, with the pick, and anything else that you need to do. And you play every other note with the middle finger. And so I would go. You can do it that way, and that's convenient, and that's sort of the, well, I'd say that's the way I do it most often, just because I can go between like a finger picking sound and then strumming, and just change between those quickly. Here's another way to do it. On this song, I might very well use a thumb pick because I will mostly be picking throughout the whole song. So I have a thumb pick here. And this is a Golden Gate. I like this one a lot. You can find them at most guitar stores. Let's see if I can bring this in closer to the camera. So, see that there? I don't know if it's in focus or not, but has a yellowish look to it. Dunlops are great too, the white Dunlop pick. So for this, I would go like what's on the board, P, I, M, I, A, I. P, I, M, I, A, I. And I explained this on other videos. This is P, thumb. I is your index, M is your middle, A is your ring finger. So P, I, M, I, A, I. And for this, you don't put your pinky down. And just practice that a long, long time. And by the way, on the D chord, I'm playing the E string, I'm playing it open. So that's a D sus2, I believe. So just practice that for a month or two. That's the pattern. And on the chords now, I'm going to go through the chord progression. I have these written in my hymn book above the words so that I know when to change the chord. So we start off with D. Day by day, with each passing. Now we have an E minor over G. E minor over G. I have it written up here in a chord chart. So E minor over D. Right here. The easiest way to play it is just to push down on the big E string, and that's your 6th string. Push down on the 3rd fret, and you can play these 3 strings open. That's the easiest way to do it. So that would sound like this. Okay, that's the easiest way to do it. Another way to do it is like this, a little bit harder. A cheater way is like this, and this just sounds good. It's not exactly an E minor over G, but it sounds good. You play that for your bass. These 2 strings are fretted very similar to that D chord, the D sus2. And then your 1st string is open. So in the chord change, you'd go from the D sus2 to this G note being in the bass. And it has the sound of an E minor over G. And that would sound like this. Like that. Now that's a cheater way, and it works. I've tried it out in a live situation. It works. Probably the most difficult way to play it, and for those of you who are interested, I'll give you this. The most difficult way, this is a D chord. I understand you can't see my fretboard real clear, but you can play a D like this, and you can play a D minor like this. So if you're familiar with the D minor chord, the 4th string is open. If you push down, this is a D minor chord, that's what we're talking about. If you push down with your ring finger on your left hand on the 4th string, 3rd fret, that's also a D minor chord. It's just got a different note in the bass. It's got an F in the bass. Well, if you move up 2 frets, you're at a D, D sharp, E. Now you're at an E minor with a G in the bass. And if that's above your skill level, just keep working on your chords. You want to be adding to your chord knowledge. That's an E minor with a G in the bass. But you can get the lower G by lifting up your ring finger, lift up your index finger, and bar on the 3rd fret, and so you get, and I think that's the sweetest sounding E minor over G that you could do in this situation. So day by day, and with each passing moment, like that. But you can do day by day, and with each passing moment. That works too. That's like what I have written here originally. Or you can do the cheater, day by day, with each passing, and push down your middle finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret, moment. That works too. Okay. Now, we'd go to the A chord. Strength I find to meet my trials. And then back to the D chord here. Trusting in my Father's wise be. I want to use the cheater one. Stowment I've no. And then cause. Cause for worry or for. Back to D chord. Fear. Now the D over F sharp. That means we're going to have the F sharp in the bass. He whose heart, and I have that written right up here. Looks like that. Heart. And I'm just putting the 1st string open. He whose heart is kind beyond all. And then you go to the G chord. Measure gives and on 2 it's A7. to each day what he deems best. And then on that, I'm going from walking down to B minor, and I'm putting my pinky on the 5th string, 4th fret, loving, and then going to, so do what he deems best, lovingly, so on loving, loving, and then to B minor, Lee, right over the L-Y, lovingly, Lee. Now you don't have to do that, you could go best, lovingly, it's part, and then the B minor over A, part of pain and pleasure, mingling. So from there, B minor over A, and I'm just going like that, just kind of rolling down the strings. And then that E minor over G, I would just push on the 6th string, 3rd fret, and leave everything else open. Pleasure, mingling, then the A chord, toil with peace and rest. And then what you do between the verses there is you go from D, you got D, D sus 4, D, D sus 2. So between the verses you can go, gives a mingling toll with peace and D, D sus 4, D, D sus 2. Like that. Basically, you're just doing this, the picking pattern that I showed you, and just going with the pinky down on the 3rd fret, regular D chord, and then lift the middle finger. But the pattern is the same. And that lets people know that we're taking a break before we sing again. And then you just start right into singing the 2nd verse. Okay, so I didn't take a whole lot of time to explain things, and I don't really think ahead exactly how I'm going to say everything that I say, so I hope that it was clear. You can leave comments below, but I will try to sing these last 2 verses for you, and then I think I'm going to switch back to my hybrid picking and just become comfortable this way. With the hybrid picking, you're just using your middle finger mostly, along with your pick hand. So you're holding it like that, and then you're picking with your middle finger, and you're anchoring with your pinky. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and sing out to the end of the video on the last 2 verses. So if you wrote your chords in above the words, you can follow along with me if you want. And God bless you as you serve Him with your guitar. Every day the Lord Himself is near me, with a special mercy for each hour. All my cares He fain would bear and cheer me, He whose name is Counselor and Power. The protection of His child and treasure is a charge that on Himself He laid. And as thy days, thy strength shall be in measure, mingling toil with peace and rest. Help me then in every tribulation, so to trust thy promises, O Lord, that I lose not faith's sweet consolation, offered me within thy holy word. Help me, Lord, when toil and trouble meeting, ere to take as from a father's hand, one by one the days, the moments fleeting, till I reach the promised land.